Alright, the last film I'm reviewing this week is Winter's Bone, and this is a truly captivating film. Now, the thing I like about some movie heroes is that the ones that affect me quite a bit, they're not overly, brave. They don't always have the greatest courage. They sometimes just really have to reach down deep, and that's what the heroine of this movie does. And the character of Ree Dolly, played by Jennifer Lawrence, in a wonderful performance, really does that. Now, she's a girl of 17 years old. She acts as if she's like a homemaker of her younger brother and sister. Now, this is in the backlands of the Ozarks, if you will. Her mother sits useless all day and is just mentally absent. Her father was jailed for cooking meth, and of course, he is missing. Now, she's trying to raise the kids herself, and this is the type of story that I think a lot of kids from broken homes can relate to. And this is just one of those movies where they take that concept and just make it into something really, really powerful here. Now, of course, the world is established with the bleak economy, and that's been a theme in a lot of movies lately, but yet they don't drown it out here. It doesn't drown out what is going on. Now, this was a double prize winner at Sundance, actually, the Sundance Film Festival. And it really focuses. It's just like it's a area that the world forgot. Almost seems like the world just forgot about this area where these people live. Now it looks like almost like a modern Great Depression, literally. Like you picture those old Great Depression films of the 30s, like of Mice and Men, Grapes of Wrath, and all those movies. And it really just looks like a modern setting of that. And I love that about this film. Now, of course, the sheriff makes a call that her father has skipped bail. To meet his bond, the house has got to be put up, and perhaps the only asset they ever have. But yet, the father doesn't turn himself in within a week. The family will be thrown out, just like that. That's it for them. Now, Ree says quietly and firmly that there's something that has to be done. What that is, she even herself doesn't seem sure. Now, Jennifer Lawrence is actually 19 years old. She's already in Jodie Foster's upcoming film, and she really just has such a fierce presence that just seems so calm and just meek. But yet she mixes that element so well. There's something amazing and bold in there, but she's just got to find it. And I really love how the fact that she just gets through these things because she has to. She knows she's the only one who can. No one else is. She has to be the hero, even though she doesn't really, know how to be one. It's the fact that it's her ambition and her remarkable ways of thinking about what to do that make her such a hero in this film. Now, again, the definition of hero is often misused, and it has a million different definitions. She, in my opinion, is the type of person that we're not going to hear about on CNN tonight. She may be the feel-good story of the local news station, but other than that, there's really not much exposure she's going to get, and that is what I love. This movie finally celebrates that. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a box office hit by any means, but I just love how this really just comes together. Now, in search of her father leads her to his brother, played by John Hawkes, a character actor who you might have seen in the Keanu Reeves film Hardball some years back. He really just his name is Teardrop. He's just one of those people you just look at like, this guy's a piece of work. Just kind of roll your eyes at. And he's just really, just a big gaping wound on this family, and much like the father is. Now, he's someone who really adds a lot to this film. John Hawkes' performance, I think, is really excellent here. He seems to have a way of adding to the antagonism that the father has left behind. It seems as though, even though we don't see much of the father, he really adds to what, the best way of putting it is that he adds to what the father left behind because he almost makes up for himself by being not such a, not the greatest person, not taking responsibility for much of the world around him. He's just, one of those big wastes of space. And again, this film is a tale of just survival, it seems, and then a journey, and not so much the destination, it's the journey. And from one character to another that she meets, that this character meets along her way, she really, really has to adapt to what's around her, and it's not easy, but she does it. A remarkable performance by Jennifer Lawrence, and just a really, really amazing story. Is just such a mind-blowing film that you really have to see it to believe it. I give Winter's Bone the perfect 5, and that is it for this week's edition of Bill Chase the Movies, and what a way to cap it off. And next week we'll be back with some more box office hits, including, well, box office films anyway, the time to tell their hits. But of course we got Grown Ups, starring the ensemble comedic cast, led by Adam Sandler, along with David Spade, Kevin James, and Chris Rock and Rob Schneider. Also, we will have Night and Day, which is Tom Cruise's return to the big screen after a 2-year absence. And he'll be joined, of course, by former Vanilla Sky co-star Cameron Diaz. Those films plus more next week on Bill Chase the Movies. Until then, if you want to support me, join my Facebook group, Bill Chase the Movies, as it says up there. I will answer your feedback, discuss movies, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I'll answer your questions. Comment on the videos, leave feedback wherever you can. And by the way, you suck, ha 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 ha, is not feedback. I was going to say, to close out the show, until next time, I am Bill Chase, and of course you know where I'll be, at the movies. Goodbye, everybody.